What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Keep Hoop YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be looking at TJ McConnell's insane game from last night, where he had himself 16 points, 4 rebounds, 13 assists, 10 steals, and a block. I think it was the first triple-double with steals since 1998, and he was one off from setting the NBA record for most steals in a game, or at least tying it. Um, yeah, I wanted to look at TJ McConnell because one, there's not a lot of videos breaking down a guy like TJ McConnell, but I do think that he's underappreciated. He's a guy that you love having on your team. And while he's only averaging 7 points, 3 rebounds, or I guess almost 4 rebounds and 7 assists, he, his impact is bigger than his numbers say. And I think there's a lot you can learn from a guy like TJ McConnell. He's not the most athletic, he's not the biggest guy, yet he finds himself getting NBA jobs and staying on teams. And a lot of it is his work ethic and just how hard he plays. But he does a lot of small things really well. And, obviously it's easier to play at a high level, whether it's high school varsity, D1 or NBA or just professionally anywhere, if you are a, 6'8" guy with 40-inch vert. But not everyone is blessed to have that. And there are guys who don't have that, who have aspirations of playing basketball at a high level. And if that's the case, watching guys like Bradley Beal and James Harden and Kyrie can help you a lot as well. But you can also learn a lot from watching a guy like TJ McConnell and just taking parts of his game that can translate to what you do. And I wanted to shed some light, and because I do think he does some things really well. Um, Before we get started, though, if you could like, subscribe, share, and comment, it would mean a lot. We also started streaming, so go check that out. We'll have the link in the description below. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram, we are keep_it_hoop, and on Twitter, we are keep it hoop blog. But yeah, so let's get started. And one thing you're gonna notice with TJ McConnell is his high release and how high he gets on his jump shot, even off the ground. And that's pretty rare for a guard his size. Like you see right there, really high release, gets pretty high off the ground. Now, I'm not saying imitate this or mimic this. Shoot whatever's comfortable for you. A lot of guys like to have a quicker release, which means shooting it um, not as high. And that also, I think most of the time, the higher you shoot, I feel like you lose some momentum you get from your shot. So it can affect or impact how much range you have. Nonetheless, obviously, TJ McConnell is a guy who's worked really hard on his shot. I'm sure he's put in tens of thousands of shots up, a lot of reps. So he's okay doing this, but it does help him because he's able to get off a decent amount of fadeaways in contested areas. He does it on the baselines a lot and in the mid range or post area. Um, he also does a really nice job of using his offhand when he's spinning to get the defender off balance a bit right here, keeps him off, and then just a nice read. And then we're going to start to see a lot of the steals. And a lot of it is just playing the passing lanes and keeping his hands up, right? He's always active. His hands are always active. Like even before the pass is made, he makes a swipe here and then, right, just continue to play the passing lanes. And coaches are always going to tell you, keep your hands up and play the passing lanes. And that's why, even if he doesn't get a steal there, he's making Darius Garland um, spend more energy finding a passing lane. And you're not letting the offense just go through their offense. Which is usually the case if you keep your hands down or you're lazy. Another thing he does here is when Jared Allen is dribbling, he notices that one, Jared Allen's probably not used to being in the situation. Two, his head isn't fully up, so he just attacks the ball. And he can do that because one, Darius Garland is very lazy in getting out the way. Part of that's Jared Allen's fault too. If he's gonna go, he has to wait for Garland to fully clear out. But because Garland isn't in any kind of threatening position to make any offensive play, that's why McConnell can make this play, because even if he doesn't get the steal, he can still sprint back to Garland in time. And again, he comes up with a steal, 2 points for him. And the thing I did want to mention is this game is really important for the Pacers, right? Um, Another thing he does really well. Just side note, even when he is beat, right? He's either trying to get back to his guy or he's still having really active hands. It's not like he gets beat and then he just gives up on the play. Which is another sign of just how hard he tries. But the Pacers needed this game because they were on the 4-game losing streak, and their next few games are really hard as well. They play teams like the Lakers, Heat, Suns, and just just a tough stretch coming up, and they're a team that's kind of fallen in recent games, so they needed that game, and McConnell was a huge part of why they won. And you can just see the hustle, right? Just diving for loose balls, and that kind of stuff is really contagious as well, right? Because you see a guy doing that on your team, and it's hard for you not to hustle and not to play defense and not to try. I think he's one of those guys that can change a culture, especially for your second unit, right? Because you just end up playing with so much energy. Um, really unselfish plays. He's just always looking for the open guy, making the right pass. He's not one of those guys that gets 7 assists off of dribbling the ball for 14 seconds and then passing it and forcing someone to take a jump shot. He's getting 7 assists off of just making the right play, and he'll swing it when he needs to. He doesn't care if it's not an assist. He's just trying to make the right play, the right pass. Really bad defense here by Cleveland, to be honest, right? Somehow, um, it wasn't even a fast break, and JaVale McGee ends up on TJ McConnell. Um, Sexton doesn't get back in time, so Miles Turner has a wide open lane to the layup or to the rim where he can just walk there. But still, very nice read by TJ McConnell. Really good back cut here by Doug McDermott. His dad is a college coach who's actually been in the news quite a bit for comments he made recently. But he grew up with his dad being a coach, so he's able to make all these reads as well. McDermott has always had a good jump shot, but pretty decent IQ for the game as well because of his just family and and how involved they are in basketball. But still, really nice play by McConnell. Keep your head up. He's able to see that. Um, and it's not an easy pass to make, right? To get it only where his teammate can get it on the move in the bounce, and the defense isn't even that bad, right? His arms are there. He's sticking with his man. Ideally, the Cavs send another help defender to make sure this doesn't happen, but this pass is on target. Super nice pass. Again, playing the passing lanes. And to be fair, Cleveland was pretty nonchalant with their execution, pretty lazy, pretty sloppy passes. Like if you're Cedi Osman, you have to know that McConnell's been playing the passing lanes really well, not just this game, but pretty much throughout his whole career, but especially this game. So this is just a lazy pass. It has to be a bounce pass, or maybe you pass it above, right? Or you make it you wrap around pass it through the inside, right? But this is just too easy, and McConnell is in a really good position because he's able to kind of hedge and help the hedge because Miles Turner is supposed to be the initial primary hedge man as JaVale McGee setting the screen. But he's an extra defender here, making sure that Osman can't get a easy either pull up three or just trying to stop his drive, right? So he's able to step in and play as a second hedge guy while also being confident enough that he can close out the section if need be. But because he's in an area like that, I think he's almost baiting a little bit as well. And guys who get a lot of steals are also good at baiting the offensive player into making the pass that they think they can get. Um, because if TJ McConnell is staying on Colin Sexton from the beginning, Osman doesn't make this pass, right? Osman either takes it back out to try to get the mismatch one-on-one with Miles Turner, or he's just going to drive completely through, or maybe a snake dribble. But he's not making this pass if TJ McConnell stays on Colin Sexton. By him helping, it's still good defense, but he's able to bait Osman into this pass without being a risky play because, again, he can still close out. So if you watch a lot of guys, again, who are good at getting steals, it's another thing you can do. Just try to bait the offensive player into making a pass that you know you can steal or at least get a hand on. Same thing, man. Same thing. And he's always in the right spot. And I can imagine how annoying it is to play against a guy like TJ McConnell because you feel like he's everywhere. Um, you don't when he's guarding you on ball, he's playing up in your face. When he's off ball, he just always seems to be in the right spot. If there's a loose ball, he's always hustling. And even here, right? End of the quarter, this is a super annoying play. Like if you're Colin Sexton, you get the rebound with 15 seconds left, or I guess 20 seconds left in the quarter. You have a 10-point lead with a chance to make it 12 or 13. And then just diving on the floor, gets the ball. These are winning plays, right? These are winning plays, and um, this is why I think his impact is bigger than his numbers because you see a player do something like that, and there's no way it can't get your team pumped up. Um, and I think he did really well against the Cavs, and part of it was the Cavs defense for sure. I know the Cavs actually started the year out pretty high on the I guess list of good defensive teams, statistically at least. And nobody really thought that they'd be able to maintain it, and they haven't, right? Because you got Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, their two starting guards, are both below average defenders. Now Sexton tries, and he has the intensity, but they're both pretty bad. I'd say below average defenders, with Garland possibly being one of the worst in the league, and McConnell is able to, especially this game, consistently get 2 feet in the paint, and we've talked about over and over just how important and how that can break down a defense and just the options you get on an offense if you're able to consistently do that, right? And this is another option or a scenario or example of that. Too easy. This is just too easy. A simple left to right crossover, and Colin Sexton isn't low enough. TJ McConnell's lower. We always say lower man wins. Doesn't slide his feet. And what that means is three people have to come. Right now, Miles Turner is driving, so JaVale McGee being here isn't too bad, but still, he gets 2 feet in the paint. Torian Prince has to come over, and because Miles Turner is always also cutting, JaVale McGee had to come in also, right? So if Miles Turner had stayed out here, JaVale McGee could actually close out onto this. So Miles Turner driving, actually giving more space to Malcolm Brogdon here. Really nice play, and that's too easy, right? Wide open shot, and Cleveland actually letting the lead slip a little bit at this point. And again, it was a big win for Indiana. They needed it. Another really good find here by TJ McConnell. Good read, good run by Doug McDermott as well, coming off of the miss, sprinting hard at the rim. A lot of times off of an offensive rebound, defenses are going to be really out of whack. Again, just in the right spot at the right time, man. And I'm sure if you're Pacers coach fan or if you're coaching a guy like McConnell, must be so nice. Um, and again, you see these moves, and he's not putting together a crazy package of crossovers. Literally, just a lot of left to right, and does do a good job of kind of weaving around. He's patient with the ball. He doesn't pick up his dribble when he doesn't need to, and he's always looking for open spaces. Um, but again, it's not like he's going ISO. He's not no crazy moves, no crazy combos. Does a really nice job if you've seen other games where because he likes driving baseline a lot. Sometimes he'll even come all the way across and shoot it on the other end with a little fadeaway. But he's just keeping his head up and keeping his dribble, which are two really important skills to have if you're a guard. You don't want to get caught in weird situations, and especially if you're a smaller guard that might find trouble finishing around the rim. Just having that patience and ability to look up at the rim and also look up at your teammates can really help you find small holes here and there to give yourself or your teammate a basket. And this was his 10th steal. You see how important that was as it was a close game. But the main takeaway really here is just his activity. If you're a smaller guard, if you're not the most athletic, you can stay on the court by just being super active on defense, trying hard, diving after every loose ball. And defense and shooting are the two things that can get you onto the court and keep you on the court. Those are two things that are very I don't want to say hard to find, but still very sought after skills, and especially today. And coaches love that, and you can always use more of both of those things, right? Shooting and defense. Another thing is, and just keeping your head up, like I just talked about, keeping your head up and keeping your dribble, and being able to just dribble through the defense, right? And you don't have to have crazy handles in terms of ridiculous moves. You just need to have a very tight dribble that's in control and being able to stay low and control the ball as you want. So there's different types of good handles, and I would say TJ McConnell has solid handles, just for the fact that he doesn't turn it over a lot and he's able to get where he wants to most of the time. when he needs to, right? So again, I think there's a lot of things you can learn from a guy like TJ McConnell. This is just a small sample size, just one game. But if you want to watch his other games, there's a lot you can learn. There's also guys like Compazzo who are now playing pretty well, who are undersized, who've done really good things. Isaiah Thomas, I did a video on him, a really long video on him earlier in the season. So go check that out. He's another guy who, at his height, got the most out of it. Very good, very efficient with his moves, very strong. A lot you can learn from a guy like that. And then you can learn from guys in the past. I don't want to say Spud Webb or Nate Robinson because those were kind of athletic freaks, but even a guy like Pablo Prigioni. There's a lot of undersized guys who aren't crazy athletes who are very effective and impactful for their team. And it doesn't always mean you're going to score 25 and be the MVP, but if you want to play at a high level, you got to do whatever it takes, and that might mean just doing the ugly things, doing the small things that nobody else wants to. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And remember to go follow us and stay tuned for our Twitch channel. We're going to start doing some more NBA talks, some more live streams talking about games, maybe when they're happening over there. So we'll have the link in the description below. Might also play some video games. It is a personal channel as well. So we'll see how it goes. Kind of just seeing or just kind of winging it, deciding things as they go, depending on also feedback as well. And yeah, follow us on our social media pages. Again, it is keep_a_hoop on Instagram and keep a hoop blog on Twitter. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you guys again tomorrow.